Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to begin in about a minute. I'm waiting for everybody else to file in, and we'll shut the doors, and then we'll go. Okay. I think it's time to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, you're now in for a treat. Ashley Nemi, who is a professional singer and an alumnus of CSU Law, class of 2022, will now sing God Bless America. She will be accompanied by Patty Zinn, whose daughter, Sarah Zinn, is also a CSU Law alumnus, the class of 2015. If you want to stand, that's up to you. Let's have a warm welcome, please, for Ashley Nemi and Patty Zinn. Thank you.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Thank you.
Thank you to Ashley for that wonderful welcome and introduction to our program. Hello, welcome to the CSU Law Alumni Association Annual Recognition Lunch for 2023. My name is Allison Toller-Reich, and Scott Kuboff and I will be emceeing this event for you on behalf of our fearless leader, Vince Lombardo, who has chaired this lunch again this year. Let's give it up for Vince Lombardo again for chairing this lunch and doing such a great job filling this room. Lunch will be served after our invocation, and we will continue with the programming during lunch. Please feel free to keep eating so we can stay on schedule and get you all back to your regularly scheduled program on time. So at this time, I would like to invite Reverend Anthony T. Parker, CSU Law, class of 1997, up for the invocation.
Let us pray. You have given us a good day, and we are thankful for fellowship. We see familiar faces, co-workers, former classmates, fellow members of the bar, and it's for a joyous occasion on a day of celebration. We are thankful for life. We have learned to never take any moment of our existence for granted. Breathing is a blessing, and even the desire to eat is a blessing, as it is clear and convincing evidence of the fact that we want to live. We are thankful for empowerment as we celebrate each other along with our honorees. We leave here empowered to keep dreaming until our dreams become visions and our visions become manifested realities. We close this prayer with this declaration: every hour is full of purpose. Every minute is full of possibilities. Every second can be a new beginning, and every moment is precious. Thank you for another good day. This is our prayer. Amen.
Thank you again, Reverend Parker. At this time, like I said, lunch will be served. We are doing Text to Give here today to raise additional funds for student scholarships. There should be cards on your table with instructions for how to give. We will be bringing up a progress bar momentarily to show you how close we are to our goal. And we do have several very generous donors who have offered to match our donations today. So the first $1,000 will be matched by Steve Potash, and the second $1,000 will be matched by his wife, Lori. So if you want to take advantage of those cards, give for student scholarships, we'd much appreciate it. Can we?
But for this law school, I would not have achieved any of the professional success that I achieved.
But for this law school, I would not be on the Supreme Court of Ohio.
I owe, obviously, everything to the law school. it meant everything to my career.
Our law school was founded in 1897, the first law school in Ohio to admit women and one of the first law schools in the nation to admit people of color. The majority of the judiciary in Northeast Ohio graduated from our law school. 3 of the 7 justices today on the Ohio Supreme Court are graduates of our law school. People like Congressman Louis Stokes, the first black mayor of any major city in America, Carl Stokes. Former Congresswoman, now HUD Secretary Marcia Fudge, the list goes on and on and on.
You feel where other people have walked before, who have mattered in this world, and who have made other people matter.
The law school here at Cleveland State is a huge asset to this community and to really the whole region. You can't think about the progress of Cleveland without thinking about this law school.
The fact that our graduates are so well represented in government and education and civic and business and the professions just speaks well to how we've contributed to the community.
You can't throw a stone in Cleveland without running into an alumni who's in a position of power. Our alumni go on to shape and change the city, and the county, and the state, and the justice system.
I don't know that there is an institution in Cleveland, Ohio, that has such deep roots throughout our community more than this one.
The results speak for themselves. The alumni of this law school represent some of the best community leadership, not only here in Ohio, but nationally.
What makes this law school outstanding is the culture, and it starts at the top with the leadership of Dean Fisher.
This law school is welcoming, we're diverse, we are accessible.
It's a very caring, committed to excellence, promoting leadership and service.
The primary thing that makes the school outstanding is the commitment of those who have chosen to teach here.
This law school empowers students by providing them with this legal education, but then also providing them with the platform to become leaders in their community.
What this law school did was prepare me.
I was fortunate enough to even try my first case as a third-year law student.
My experience in the law school was extraordinary. You know, I had an amazing education. I had an even more amazing support team.
I made lifelong friendships here. It's not just a law school, it's truly a family.
They care that you're doing well in not just this subject, but your mental health, your physical health.
I remember in the early days of school, they said, look to your left, look to your right. These are your legal colleagues for life. That is the network that you are building from day one.
The school has, from the beginning, been about equity. It started as a part-time school.
I was a night student. I worked as a waiter and worked at City Hall and then came to school at night. And this law school made it possible for me to do that. Otherwise, I would have never been able to go to law school.
Coming to this law school enabled me to see mentors and role models who looked like me.
We care very much about diversity, about inclusion, and we want to make sure that our students who are diverse students feel welcome and included at Cleveland State.
It's very important to support this law school because it's a public resource. It stands for excellence, it stands for equal opportunity.
It just gives everyone an opportunity to pursue their dreams. And once you're here, you have all the assistance you need to be successful.
When students are admitted to Cleveland State University College of Law, we send every admitted student this book, Just Mercy, which is the story of activist attorney Brian Stevenson
and his fight against injustice. We send it to our students to send them a message that you should think of yourselves not just as lawyers, but think of yourselves instead as guardians of justice, because that's what they're going to be.
This school taught me to speak up, and I always felt that my teachers had given me the necessary equipment to understand how the law works and what I could do to make it better.
No one hands you justice. You gotta fight for it. A whole lot of fine people have died for it.
Because of this law school, I have lived justice, and I have fought for the little guy. It was the confidence and the experiences and the training that I received here that were the foundation of that. When I head into a courtroom and I have a trial and I'm up against some giant corporation that's armed with money and lawyers, you know, I'm like, I got this. I got this.
125 years of having an accessible path to the practice of law. This is just one of the many crown jewels of the city of Cleveland.
There's a lot of history, and for you to have that history behind you to lift you up on all your pillars, it shows that you have a solid foundation and nothing can shake you.
The fact that this law school led in providing a legal education for people who were denied it elsewhere is a huge part of its history and its legacy. So 125 years marks a great legacy, and I believe is a catalyst to the next 125 years.
Your attendance today supports CSU law students. The money raised from this event will go to school scholarships for law students and will ensure their success in their legal careers. Now's a good time to pull out our phones and text LAW to 243725. Our goal is to raise $15,000 during this lunch. We are delighted to honor and recognize two outstanding alums. We hope this is a very special day for Judge Turner and Frank, for their families, and that it creates many lasting memories. I would be remiss if I did not personally recognize certain people who have helped make this event possible. The 2023 ARL committee, please rise when your name is called. Allison Reich, Kelly Bokach, Aaron Host, Kyle Hutnick, Katie Kirby, Megan Llewellyn, Sam O'Leary, Delonte Spencer Thomas, Alan Tittle, Marilyn Ubade, Mary Walsh, Brandon Weekly, Ben Wyborg, Robin Wilson, Howard Mishkin, Michael O'Neill, Jim Salmon, Rose Stevenson, Jim Marinella, Ellen McCarthy, and last but not least, our energetic and fearless leader, Vince Lombardo. Please join me in thanking the committee for a job well done. We certainly could not do this event without our executive director, Alicia Parazzini, for her exceptional performance and commitment year after year. Thank you, Alicia. All of our scholarship recipients are listed in the program. Several of them from the past are here with us today. I would ask that all of our scholarship recipients, both past and present, please stand and be recognized. We have a title sponsor, Ellen McCarthy, and 26 gold sponsors for this event. You have seen their names in the program and on the video boards. Through their generosity and support of this event, the Alumni Association will be able to continue to provide the kinds of programs, scholarships, and benefits for law students, future lawyers, and the legal community. Thank you to Ellen and all of our gold sponsors for stepping up and supporting this memorable event. In addition to our title and gold sponsors, we have many silver, bronze, and table sponsors. You have also seen their names and logos in the program and on the video board. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Many of you have also invested in our program by purchasing a congratulatory announcement and advertisement. Please take your program home as a souvenir and as a reminder to patronize those advertisers. Again, this would be a really great time to pull out our cell phones and text law to 243725 and help further support our cause. In our program, there is a list of trustees, honorary trustees, and life members. They have provided leadership and financial support to CSU law students, the legal community, and among other things, they have helped us with our CLE programs and mentorship programs. Will our trustees, honorary trustees, and life members please stand and be recognized? We are very proud that CSU Law has graduated more judges in the state of Ohio at all levels of the bench than any other school. Will all of our fine judges and magistrates in attendance please rise and be recognized? We have a long list of distinguished past honorees who are also listed in the program. Would all of our past honorees who are here today please stand and be recognized? Finally, I bet you all were waiting for me to say that. Our Alumni Association annual meeting will be June 1st in the evening. It will be preceded by a fantastic all-day CLE and domestic violence symposium. We will have a great lineup of speakers and judges who will be discussing recent developments and changes in this area of the law. Please be sure to put June 1st on your calendar.
At this time, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the president of our Alumni Association, Robin Wilson. Robin is a graduate of the class of 1996, and she's currently a partner at Ulmer Byrne.
Thank you so much for coming here today. It is my pleasure to welcome you and to thank you for supporting the CSU Law Alumni Association as we recognize Attorney Frank Gallucci and Judge Deborah Turner. On Sunday, I had the honor of sitting on the platform, the dais, at the Wolstein Center for commencement ceremonies for the CSU Law Class of 2023. I looked out at the students gathered for the commencement and saw all the family and friends who were gathered with them. There was so much joy and excitement. 4 days later, standing before this amazing body of alumni and friends, family and supporters of this association and this law school, it confirms to me how fortunate those students are to be graduating into such a supporting, engaged, collateral, collegial association of alumni lawyers. The law school class of 2023 entered law school at the height of a global pandemic. Remembering the concerns, fears, and worries that I had entering law school, I am sure many of you did as well, I cannot imagine what thoughts they were thinking during that uncertain time. However, I am sure that one of those thoughts had to be, how am I going to pay and afford this cost of this legal education? Sitting on that platform last Sunday, it made me feel good to know that there is an alumni association and friends and families of members of that alumni association that in 4 days' time would be turning out to show their support for two very impressive alumni, this alumni association and this law school, but also at the core turning out to show support for those students. This alumni association's main mission is to support law students. And everything that this association does is for the purpose of raising money so that we can provide students, both incoming students, second, third, and fourth year law students, and even certain graduating students, scholarships to help defray the high cost of a legal education and to help minimize some of the concerns about how they're going to pay for it. The more scholarship dollars we raise, the more money we're able to give. That is why your support here today is so important to this association and to the students, and we thank you for attending. This association is run by a volunteer board, all working lawyers who have day jobs, and one amazing executive director, Alicia Perazini. Thank you, Alicia and Vincent Lombardi, who chair the ARL committee, for all of the hard work you did for today's event. This is the result of your efforts. In closing, as president, I have the honor of giving the President's Award to a member of the association for outstanding service. This was such a hard decision because so many of our board members, both active and honorary members, could easily have received this award, and I thank them all for their service this year. But after much consideration for all the work he has done and for all of his support for my term as president, I would like to present the President's Award to Ben Wyborg, this year's treasurer of the CSU Law Alumni Association and a partner at the law firm Nuremberg, Paris. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the best law school dean in the country, the incredible Lee Fisher.
Thank you, Robin. I'd like to begin by asking you for a moment of silence, because in the last few days we lost two icons in the legal community. One was Elizabeth Moody, who was the first woman interim dean of our law school, the co-founder of the Women's Law Fund, and who, with another woman by the name of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was a leader for women's legal rights for many, many years. The other was Magistrate Pat Heeman, also a graduate of our law school. A brief moment of silence for Liz Moody and Magistrate Pat Heeman. Thank you. I talk to my law dean colleagues around the country, and when I tell them that we have an alumni luncheon that attracts 1,000 people, their jaws drop. And that includes deans of law schools that have much larger alumni networks than us. So I want to begin by saying to you that we owe a great deal to all of you. The Alumni Association and those of you in the Alumni Network are incredible, and your engagement means the world to us, and most importantly, to our students. I also want to say that Robin Wilson has been an outstanding president of this Alumni Association, and I want to thank her for her service. And no one puts together a luncheon like Vince Lombardo. He is phenomenal and deserves a round of applause again, too. The Alumni Association could not have picked two better and more deserving honorees than Judge Deborah Turner and Frank Gallucci, and I look forward to honoring them in a few minutes. But first, I want to do something today. I want to honor two members of our faculty. I'm going to ask them both to come up to the stage, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm going to honor them. So I'd like to ask Professor Brian Ray and Professor Milanasterio to come up to the stage right now. Every year at this luncheon, we award the Wilson Stapleton Award after the longest-serving dean in our history. It's the Stapleton Award for Faculty Excellence, and this year's winner is Professor Brian Ray, the Leon and Gloria Plevin Professor of Law. Brian is the rare academic who has achieved national and international prominence in two largely unrelated fields. He's a leading international scholar in what's known as socioeconomic and social rights, and he's got a book with Cambridge University Press that is recognized as one of the authoritative sources in the field. Over the last 8 years, he has almost single-handedly created one of the leading law school-based cybersecurity and data privacy centers in the world. And thanks to his leadership, our Center for Cybersecurity and Privacy Protection has a national reputation. Please join me in congratulating Professor Brian Ray. Normally, I only present one award each year, but this year I have an opportunity to present two awards, and let me explain why. Professor Milanasterio is up here today because she recently received an award that is one of a kind. She is the Charles Emmerich Calfee Halter and Griswold Professor of Law. And earlier this year, the dean of each of Cleveland State's 8 colleges was asked to nominate just one member of their faculty for the highest honor that can be bestowed on any faculty member at the university, the title of CSU Distinguished Professor. I was very pleased to nominate Professor Stereo, and today I want to announce to you that she has been named CSU Distinguished Professor. The appointment of a faculty member to this professorship constitutes the highest honor that can be accorded to any professor at the university. Only one CSU Distinguished Professorship is awarded each academic year. And faculty members get to hold the title not for 1 year, but for the duration of their career at Cleveland State. Professor Stereo is a renowned expert in the field of international law. She's made multiple presentations at the United Nations forums, speaking on counterterrorism and human rights violations resulting from the war in Ukraine. And she recently appeared before the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee to provide testimony regarding U.S. Syria policy. She's the author of 7 books and has published more than 50 scholarly articles, essays, and book chapters published in top-ranked international law journals and law reviews. Please join me in congratulating Professor Milanasterio. And now it's my opportunity to introduce the 8th president of Cleveland State University. In the just about 1 year that she has been president, she already has made her mark and a lasting legacy, and only greater things are to come. I can tell you that we've never had a president in our history, along with Provost Nigamith Sridhar, who was here today, and I'm going to ask him to stand just for a second and be recognized. Provost, thank you for all your support. We've never had a president and a provost more supportive of the law school than President Laura Bloomberg and Provost Sridhar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you the president of Cleveland State University, Laura Bloomberg.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Several months ago, Dean Fisher told me about this lunch, and he said, "You're not going to believe it. There's going to be 1,000 people there." And I have attended a lot of alumni lunches for law schools, both as the spouse of a lawyer and also at another institution west of here in the University of Minnesota. And I thought, yeah, there's not going to be 1,000 people there, Lee. My gosh, look at all of you. This is remarkable. You have in your mission, you know, you don't need me to read it to you, but I'm looking at this line at the bottom of the CSU L.A.A. mission. And it says that part of what you're doing is offering quality educational and professional programs and opportunities designed to enhance the reputation, and here's the key part, and foster pride and involvement in the Cleveland State University Law College community. This is how you do that. This is a remarkable community, and I'm so very proud to stand before you. I'm so very proud of what you do for the law school. Thank you so very much. When your president, Robin Wilson, stood before you a little bit ago, she said two things that I have to say I concur with. One is that we have the best law school dean in the country right here, right now, and I'd love to just give another round of applause to Dean Lee Fisher. I learn something from the dean every day. I also have to say that when I first came to Cleveland as the provost, he chaired the search that brought me here, so I'm very indebted to him for that as well. And the other thing that President Wilson said was that she was inspired sitting on the dais at commencement, as was I. There is something so heady and inspiring about graduating into your ranks, the ranks of the alums of this law school, these fresh, newly minted attorneys, whether they're going to practice law or not, they are going to forever be impacted by what they learn. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000,000 times. The notion that they will learn law and live justice makes me proud every single day. So to sit there, and behind me on the dais was a remarkable community of legal scholars and leaders and members of the court who are graduates of this institution. And before us, all of these new graduates, and there is so much potential and so much hopefulness there. The extent to which you make that possible for our students is the extent to which I believe you're changing Northeast Ohio and making the community a better place for all of us. Live law, learn justice. I was really honored to be able to be a part of the cadre of people interviewed for the 125th anniversary video. You showed that, right? I would have been here seeing it, except the provost said, let's just walk over to the Hilton. We got here a little later than we thought we'd be. But anyway, I've seen it before. I was honored to do that, and here's why. I think an institution like this law school that can look back and honor its 125-year history with things like recognizing that this was the first law school to admit women, one of the first to admit people of color, and be proud of that, and at the same time, not rest on any laurels, but fiercely look to the next 125 years. Cybersecurity law, space law, how we're thinking about the ethics around artificial intelligence, how scholars like Professor Stereo are thinking about human rights in the world. That's what this law school is doing. It's nation leading, and I am so proud of that, and I am so proud of this great gathering. And again, I want you to know that I'm honored to be a part of the next 125 years, at least the first bit of that. And I'm honored to be on this journey of supporting the law school with all of you. Thank you so very much for all you do.
You know, a few moments ago, I was up here thanking everybody for their support and the hard work that Vince and Alicia and Allison put into making this event possible. I think I'd be remiss not to say something about the 30 or 40 people that are still putting in the hard work right now that are serving us in making this a very enjoyable meal. So thank you to the folks at the Hilton and the staff for your service with us today. Now, my script tells me that I got to read the story about the honorees in the program, but I took a look at it and it's really, really long. So I'm just going to direct you to the program and you guys go ahead and read it for yourselves. But I'll be short. Both of our honorees are accomplished and determined leaders of this great legal community, yet both are so giving of their time to various organizations, civic activities, and to the legal community as well as our law school. I have the privilege of introducing a friend and colleague. Frank Gallucci entered the legal industry earlier than anticipated. When his father, Frank Jr., passed away at the age of 51, Frank took over the leadership role of his father's practice while he earned his bachelor's degree from Boston College and Cleveland State. At the time, Frank was 20 years old. Since then, Frank has grown the firm, Plevin and Gallucci, to one of the largest plaintiff firms in the state of Ohio. Frank has earned a national reputation for his expertise in wrongful death, industrial accidents, and personal injury claims. Most recently, Frank served as code lead counsel for plaintiff Cuyahoga County in the first bellwether trial in the national opioid litigation. To date, the plaintiff's legal team, led by Frank, has secured over $300 million in settlements just for Cuyahoga and Summit counties alone. Frank, I think it is fair to say that your father would be incredibly proud.
Frank Gallucci is a man that is a born leader. He underwent tremendous hardships when he lost his father very early on, and he had a lot of responsibility thrust upon him. And Frank certainly rose to the occasion and created one of the most successful law firms in the area.
I've watched firsthand and up close the opportunity to see Frank's contributions to Northeast Ohio, to the community, to the legal field, to CSU. He is a tremendous asset to our bar. He truly is a tremendous asset to the legal community in Cleveland here, just with his civility and his professionalism.
When Frank was president of the Ohio Association for Justice, we had a winter convention in Cleveland. And instead of us having a big lunch as a group, Frank organized all of us to make lunches for the homeless. There's an assembly line of people making sandwiches, people stuffing the bags, but every single bag that went out to a homeless shelter had to have a personal handwritten note telling the person getting the lunch how much we were thinking of them and how much we cared. And that, to me, personifies Frank. Nobody has done that before. Nobody has done it since.
Frank is one that brings, at the same time, professionalism and civility, but a great success for his clients. but doing so in a very honored way that should reflect on our practice as attorneys here in Ohio.
Frank absolutely loves CSU law. He is completely dedicated. He's dedicated his life to making the profession better than the way he found it, and he wants to see that this law school produces students that feel the same way. So that's why he has supported CSU for so long.
He's loyal, he's compassionate, he's dedicated, he's hardworking. But the one thing he has in abundance is generosity. And people who came out of Cleveland State Law School share that same characteristic. They're generous to the community, they're generous to their families, their clients, their staff. It seems like it's a thread that runs through that law school with every graduate.
Frank Gallucci is so deserving of this award because he embodies the mission that Dean Fisher has encapsulated, and that is to learn law and live justice. And he is committed to seeing that this school thrives and that the profession thrives as a result of that.
What an incredible recognition, but at the same time, so well deserved. And the opportunity to see your career blossom personally over the past 20 years plus has been a true honor. And again, congratulations, and enjoy this night and your day with your family.
Congratulations, Frank, to you and your family. You are so deserving of this award.
Frank, congratulations. I love you, you're awesome, and you are so deserving.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you especially to Ellen McCarthy for your kind words and sponsorship, Craig Bashine and Justice Donnelly for your friendship and words. They're truly appreciated. I'm not sure that I deserve such recognition, and candidly, I'm happy that it's happening after U.S. News and World Report has announced that this law school has moved up 16 places in the rankings. Judge Turner, I have to tell you, it's a privilege to be a co-honoree with you, looking at your career as not only a judge, but also as a teacher, a prosecutor, and a law director. It's a privilege and honor to share the stage with you today. And as you have heard, a special thank you to Vince Lombardo and the Alumni Association for putting all of this together. When you look around at this full room, it is not a secret as to why this Law School Alumni Association is successful. I had the privilege of having many cases with Vince. During his tenure as an Assistant Attorney General, he was always well prepared and tenacious and fair, and thankfully he had a full docket, because now that I see the effort that Vince puts in when retired, I would have had a real problem. To give you an idea, since October 12th, there have been 330 emails from Vince, and those are only the ones that I have been copied on. And thank you especially to my wife, Michelle, my mother, my siblings, many of whom are here today, for putting up with me day to day and allowing me to pursue a career in law. It would also be an error to think that any of this recognition is solely related to work that I have done. Like so many others in this room with their firms, any success that is attributed to me is really the result of all the people that I get to work with on a day-to-day basis. We have an incredible staff and attorneys at Plevin and Gallucci, many of whom went to Cleveland Marshall, a few others snuck in. However, without the ability to work with these people day in and day out, neither myself nor our law firm would have had the success that we've had to date. So thank you. It would be an error to receive this recognition from our law school is very touching to me. Since I was young, this school has provided me with so many opportunities through various people in my life and through the community around me. I was fortunate to have a father who was a proud graduate of this law school. He constantly demonstrated how a degree from Cleveland State University allowed him the opportunity to build a practice that not only looked out for people, but also helped them at their time of need. Then, when my high school required me to do an internship for graduation, the attorneys at Nuremberg, Paris, many of whom are graduates of our law school, graciously gave me an opportunity to learn what it means to be a true personal injury lawyer. That experience would solidify my desire to one day attend law school. When my father passed away, it was Leon Plevin and my cousin Michael Gallucci, both graduates of this law school, that worked with me and my family to establish a mechanism that allowed me to keep my father's practice alive and have an opportunity when I would come out. Less than a year after my father's passing, I began applying to law schools. I needed a law school that would not only provide me with an incredible legal education, but would also allow me to work and figure out how life was going to move forward. After one conversation with Dean Steinglass, it was clear that Cleveland State University's law school would provide that opportunity and would be perfect for me. While in law school, with so many other members of the illustrious class of 2000, many of whom are in this room here today, I was fortunate to, we can clap for the class of 2000, that's okay. I was fortunate to have an opportunity to extern with the Cuyahoga County's prosecutor's office. While there, I had an opportunity to work with many of the great graduates of a law school, including now Judge Peter J. Corrigan, and ultimately Bill Mason, as he and a team of Cleveland State University Law School graduates tried the Sam Shepard case. The opportunities did not stop there. In my years following graduation, I've had endless opportunities given to me courtesy of this law school. I had the opportunity to start a firm with Leon Plevin, a graduate of our law school. I come to work every day with Michael Schroeg, a member of my first-year law school section, David Grant and Teresa Lanice, all of whom are graduates of our law school. I get to work as referring counsel, co-counsel, and opposing counsel with so many of you. I get to appear before a bench that is so heavily populated with graduates of our law school, be it the municipal courts, the common pleas courts, the courts of appeals, or Supreme Court of Ohio, where currently my former law professor, Justice Melody Stewart, and former colleague, Justice Michael Donnelly, sit in service. I was given an opportunity to represent the people of Cuyahoga County in the opioid litigation by, among others, Michael O'Malley and David Lambert, both graduates of our law school. And while handling the case, I had the distinct privilege of reporting and answering to not only a graduate of our law school, but our current president of our Alumni Association, Robin Wilson. I cannot think of another institution that has placed so many people in impactful positions throughout the community. I cannot think of another institution that has provided so many opportunities for its graduates and community. And I cannot think of an institution or alumni group more deserving of my thanks for the opportunities it has afforded me. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Frank. Now our second honoree, but certainly not least, Judge Deborah M. Turner. I was reading through Judge Turner's biography in order to introduce her to you all today, and I was just really awestruck by everything that she has done, and I think it really speaks to the mission of Cleveland State University School of Law. Her interest in law stems back to when she was younger, and she had a frequent patron to her mother's restaurant who was a prominent civil rights attorney who helped her mother with several legal issues when Judge Turner was just a young girl. And she hoped at that point that she could one day have the same impact on someone else's life. However, due to the price of law school, she worked for 20 years as a teacher, predominantly in the Cleveland Heights University School District, where she taught social studies, history, geography, government, and high school law class, and she coached the mock trial team. She was able to attend law school 15 years into that career teaching, where she went to CSU's night program, which I know many of our graduates have had the opportunity to take advantage of and continue to work while going to school. She attended classes in the evening while working during the day, raising 4 children, cooking dinners for them, getting to them to all of their activities and hobbies that they had to get to, and having a 51-year marriage with her husband, who's here today with her, and they have 51 years. Reverend Donald M. Turner, and they have 6 grandchildren. In addition to all of that, she also had to create lesson plans, grade papers, study, participate in the Black Law Students Association, and the Employment Law Clinic. These challenging years taught her the value of perseverance, and it is my distinct honor to welcome Judge Turner to the podium and present her with this award today.
I met Debbie more than 30 years ago when I was a new clinical professor at Cleveland State University College of Law, and she was a high school teacher at Cleveland Heights High School. With 4 children and teaching full-time, she went to Cleveland State's law school in the evening, did really well, graduated, passed the bar, practiced, as she had said, for a number of years in private practice, then was a prosecutor, a law director, magistrate, and then in 2018 she was elected judge in Cuyahoga County.
As our assistant law director and also as our prosecutor, and she was well loved by the police and fire because she would, if there was an issue, she would take care of it and get it handled. I think that comes from the fact that she has the different types of skill sets and the way she can work with people. And I think whatever she learned here just stepped it up a notch.
After I was elected to the bench in 1998, I asked Deborah to come and be part of my staff because I knew her as somebody who was hardworking, intelligent, trustworthy, and because she shared the same passion that I had for making sure that the legal system worked the way it was supposed to. That she had a real commitment to public service as well, and wanted to make sure that we would remain true to the people who elected us.
She truly embodies our motto, the Learn Law, Live Justice motto of the law school. She is such a positive role model for so many people in the community.
The way she challenged herself, did the work, took care of her family, as well as continued her education, got the degree at a later time in life when most people are like, I'm going to sit to the side. But it came through fruition, struggle, and stick-to-itiveness.
She represents, I think, the best of what being on the bench constitutes. And so in that way, I think she is an excellent representative and mentor for those who are thinking about public service, who are thinking about taking everything that you learn in this place and applying it to the law.
Congratulations, Debbie. No one is more worthy of this award than you. And I just have one final thing to say to you. I told you so.
Congratulations on a job well done. And thank you for all that you do, Deborah.
Debbie, I want to say that I am certainly honored to be able to be here today and to say all that I've said about you. I truly am honored to call you my sister and my friend, but above all to say, congratulations, Judge Deborah Turner.
Now please join me in welcoming Judge Turner to the podium.
They expect me to speak after all of that? Good afternoon. And to Frank Gallucci, my co-recipient awardee, congratulations to you as well. We had not met officially, but we talked one day for about an hour on the phone to get to know each other. I have to say that I am a Viking. Bachelor's, master's, law degree, I am a Viking. I look at this room and I said, wow, I'm like Dorothy, I'm not in Kansas anymore. I want to say thank you to Pam, Janet, Wendy, for sharing a part of my journey in this place at this time. I also want to thank my fellow alumnus, Reverend Anthony Parker, for participating as well. I stand before you as an alumni, and I stand committed, connected, and concerned. I want to thank Cleveland State University Alumni Association for this honor, for this privilege. I'm humbled to look at all of the people who have gathered in this room for this great occasion. Thank you, Vince, for your nomination, for your hard work. I met Vince in 1994 when I was interning at the Attorney General's office during the summer. And there's something about his spirit that draws people to him, and definitely that distinctive laugh. But I thank you so much. I want to thank Rose Stevenson, my sister friend, who served on the committee, the planning committee, to put all of this together. I'll forever be thankful. Dreams do come true. 30 years ago, Cleveland Marshall College of Law evening program gave me an opportunity as a 39-year-old non-traditional student to pursue my dream, a dream that was conceived when I was 12 years old, when my sister and I went to 21st in Pain, and we saw the hand of our mother through the bars as she waved to us below. We couldn't see her, but she could see us. She was represented by the street lawyer, Stanley Tolliver. And he told us if the justice system works, he was going to bring our mom home. Well, you know she came home because I'm here. And for me and my family, on that day, the justice system worked. And I said at 12 years old, I wanted to be a lawyer because I saw someone that looked like me and who'd help my family, and I wanted to do the same. Thank you, Cleveland Marshall, for giving me that opportunity. Cleveland is my home, born and bred. I'm a proud graduate of John Adams High School. I am a rebel for life. I'm the first in my family to graduate from high school. I didn't say law school. I didn't say undergraduate. I said high school. With no resources, I had to work to go to college as a maid at the Ramada Inn on Brook Park Road. I worked for UPS, stacking trucks, building those walls so the packages wouldn't shift. I worked as a clerk at the May Company. It took me 7 years to get my undergraduate degree, but I'm here. As I stand in this room, in this place today, and I look at all of you, I count it all joy, desire, determination, perseverance was my fuel to push me forward. I count it all joy. Upon my acceptance to law school, a plan was developed for the care of my children. They were 5, 9, and I have a son with disabilities. And my husband worked at Ford Motor Company as an electrician, and he worked the 3 to 11 shift. Well, you know that wasn't gonna work because I needed him to be at home. So he was getting pushback from his supervisors about getting his shift change. Can't stop, won't stop. I wrote a letter to Ford Motor Company in Dearborn. Said I need my husband's shift changed. And the rest is history. Law school was challenging. Juggling a career which required the preparation of lesson plans, tests, grading of papers, in addition to the rigorous studies of law school. I'm thankful for my husband of 51 years, the Reverend Donald Turner. After that shift change, he was able to be there for those children in the evening, and he was able to take them to dance class, gymnastics, do homework, special activities for our son. But it was always a juggling act, and I just have to share one story with you. During my 3rd year of law school, my middle daughter, Danielle, said, "Mom, the project fair is coming." And she said, "I don't want that participant ribbon. I want to win. And I need you as that history teacher to help me, And I said, "Well, Danielle, we've got to develop a plan. You go to bed at 9 o'clock. I don't get home till 11 o'clock from school, and we'll do 2 hours every night." She won. And not only did she win in her category, she won Best of Show for the entire 6th grade on Brown versus the Board of Education. And guess what? She's still winning because she's an elected official on a local school board. During my tenure in law school, many people poured into me along the way. Dean Melody Stewart, now Justice Stewart. Dean Solomon Oliver, now federal judge. Dean Frederick White. Professors Barbara Tyler, Gordon Beggs, Kevin O'Neill, and Ken Kowalski, to name a few. 2 of my best friends today I met in law school. Deborah Caldwell and Pat Landsey are my law school buddies. My mother, Ruth Wallings, was a very strong woman, and she raised my sister and I in the projects of Morris Black, 105 16A Mount Carmel. My mom and my sister are gone on. My mom had my sister and I as a divorced mother, and she dropped out of school in 11th grade. But when I look at my niece over here, my sister's only child, I see my mom and I see my sister. Today would have been the 91st birthday for my dad, who poured into me as an adult. And when I look at my brother over here, Ramon, I see the spirit of my dad. And when I see my other brother, Randall and Raphael. So I know they're here. On May 24th, 1997, I arrived at the Palace Theater for the Cleveland Marshall College of Law diploma ceremony. To my disappointment, guess whose name wasn't in the program? A very apologetic Dean Steinglass, Kay Benjamin, Dean White, all assured me that it was in the large program when they have the individual colleges. I look around this room, and I came in today, and guess what? I'm half of the program. And people have been saying my name for the last 6 months. Say my name. Thank you for showing up and showing out. The National Council of Negro Women, Western Reserve Section. the Ohio Black Judges Association, the Black Women's Political Action Committee, Another Historical Journey, the Avon Avenue Baptist Church, the Rome Missionary Baptist Church, and all of my many friends and family. Every time I turn around, I see blessings, blessings, and more blessings. And thank you to all of you for being a part of my blessing today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming today. We are wrapping up. I just want to remind you about our text to give. I think we're going to pull up our progress chart. I'm a little nervous. But again, we have Steve Potash, Lori Potash, Margaret Wan, Robin Wilson, Kevin O'Neill, and Sonia Winter are matching our donations today. So if you haven't taken a chance yet to text to give, please do so. I also want to let you know about our annual meeting coming up next Thursday, June 1st at the law school. It's preceded by our domestic violence symposium from 8:30 to 4:30. It includes 7.5 hours of CLE credit, and it'll have lunch provided. And then please join us for the annual meeting after that. And now we'll have the benediction by Reverend Donald Turner.
First of all, I would like to give honor and glory and praise to our God, our Lord, and our Savior. And if all have been said, thank you, Cleveland State Alumni Association, for this momentous occasion and for the celebration of these two honorees. Congratulations to you both. God bless you and God keep you. If all minds are clear, we'll stand for the benediction. We ask as we prepare to leave from this place, but never from the presence of God, that he will order our steps. So now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before his presence in glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise and just God, our Lord, our Savior, be majesty, be glory, dominion, and power. May God bless you and God keep you. And everyone say, amen.
That concludes our program, everyone. Thank you.